What is up, guys? It is Ace Hunter here, giving you guys a news discussion video on Final Fantasy and anything Final Fantasy related for that matter. So, joining me today is one of my very good buddies, has helped me out on several different things and occasions. Why don't you introduce yourself, buddy?
All right. What is up, bros and bras? And this is your boy, Vengefulwillberg here. And Ace, thank you for having me. It's been a blast working with you in the past. And we're doing this spit yet again.
Yeah, boy. So today we are going to be covering some Final Fantasy news that has dropped. And so I wanted to share it with everybody and make sure everybody heard the news. So, everyone pretty much has heard about this, and if you haven't heard, well, then I'm sorry. I have to let you know this, and it comes from out of my mouth. But Final Fantasy 15 got delayed. Holy crap, another delay on the already a decade over release. This game has been very anticipated, and now like it's been delayed again. It's very sad. It's very sad to hear about that. Yeah. Will, what did you think about the delay when you first heard it?
Oh, it was a lot of ideas in my head at the time, but honestly, when I heard the news, it reminded me of a good friend of mine by the name of Q, and he always talked about how there was always a delay for the Zelda games on, I think it was on the Nintendo Wii, GameCube, whatever system. It was either GameCube, Nintendo Wii, Zelda game, delay. Either they'll delay it for the new console or they just delay it all together. And it's kind of sad. Like, when you look at Final Fantasy 15, I mean, it's like, yo, the hell's going on? Like, this game has been delayed countless times, and it's been, what, over a decade it's been delayed? Just maybe not over a decade.
It was supposed to be on the PS3.
Yeah, that's almost like a good decade. If that's the case, I mean, that has been an extremely long time, and I could understand why a lot of people was frustrated. Because personally, if I've been anticipating a game like that, to be honest, when I first saw footage of that game way back when, I thought that game was going to be freaking amazing, and I couldn't wait to see more when it came to the game. And you've heard nothing, just vanished, and it's like, the hell's going on? I mean, like, it's frustrating. I'm not technically frustrated, but for a lot of other people, I'm sure they would be. I'm not particularly happy about it, but one of the things that I try to put in my head is the fact that there's always some kind of outside influence, or maybe like a number of pressures that can cause these kinds of delays. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, and pretty much, when I investigated into it a little bit myself. Now, mind you, I had just got done with my vacation. I was on my way home, and I started getting all this news dropped on me as I'm like driving back from Georgia to New Jersey. And I'm like, what is going on? So I had to take breaks in between like my little pit stops and check out what is going on. And I'm like, this is crazy, like all this is happening and it's crazy. So I looked more into it, and I noticed like they had the Gamescom recently where they had the Final Fantasy 15 had to show their showing and whatnot for it. And during Gamescom, and when they showed it on the YouTube page, I kind of see why they're doing this. I noticed a lot of problems with the game when they were showing it to a lot of the fans during the gameplay. Now, maybe it could be just the video render, possibly, or the final, like the game itself could probably be a problem, or what system it was running on. There were instances that I was noticing it was running on the Xbox One, and it was. But we're not gonna talk about Xbox One. But to say none the least that, like, I was seeing problems in the game itself. It kind of sucks because you see that, and then if the developer gets kind of like, well, he sees that and now he feels a certain type of way, you know like it'd be a hard decision to make, but I think I probably would have called for the same thing. I might call for the same thing if I was in his shoes. During the trailer, I noticed a lot of frame drops. I noticed a lot of little, like, fine knit little things that, like, AI wasn't responding correctly. Like, AI was running into a wall sometimes. You had instances where, like, for some reason, Noctis, even during the beginning, Noctis was, like, teleported from one place to another, where he's supposed to be moving, show some, like, walking movement. He kind of, like, still-footed teleported over to a spot. So it was kind of weird, like, they didn't animate it correctly. Maybe that little part was a split decision to add that little intro in. I could be wrong. I could be just some outsider not seeing what's inside the true development process. Honestly, I don't want to hark on them, but I'm just saying this is pretty much what I was seeing. So I can understand the delay. I can also understand why he also wants to do this, because there are people without internet. It's surprising to hear, but it's not out of the reality. Because over in Japan, they suffer through multiple occasions of earthquakes, floods, and different other things over there in Japan. And of course, like, they lose internet, as of course with us here in America, we lose internet quite a lot. And so fans would be upset if they were not able to download their patch, download their game, and be able to play it because they needed the internet. So, a lot of people want to say, oh my god, this delay, this, that, and the other. Let's give Square Enix a chance and make this good. They're saying it's good. It's just a 2-month delay, which we've already waited a decade. What's 2 more months to us anymore at this point, So yeah, just give them a chance and we'll see how this turns out. Honestly, I think this is a good move for Square Enix to do, and I think it was probably beneficial for them to do this.
And just to add on to what you were saying about the availability of internet, because you brought up a really good point in regards to that. Because accessibility, you do have to put into account that not everybody has access to that kind of media. For example, in the education profession, you can't go in and expect every child to literally have internet accessible at home to the point where they have those extra tools at their disposal. There are some that just does not have that. And the same thing can be applied to video gaming, because let's take a quick look at Street Fighter V. They follow that same principle. Whereas, well, not in regards of thinking about accessibility, but the fact that the way they designed the game, there are a lot of features where you have to have online to get all of these extra things. And if you don't have online and you pay $60 for this game, there is going to be a lot of things that's going to be out of reach. One of the biggest examples, the actual store to unlock characters using battle points. You can't even access your battle points without even, you can't access them if you don't have access to the server. and so you're screwed. Like when they advertised that you can go in and you can get these characters for free by getting battle points, you can only do that if you have an internet that allows you to get into the server. So, I mean, that's kind of like a problem right there already, especially if you don't have internet just to access the PSN network. You gotta have it. If you don't have that, you buy this game, you're already screwed, you know?
Yeah. So he's basically trying to put this all in a disc, which part of me thinks that's going to be near to impossible to contain it all in one disc. But then again, I have been wrong before, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong this time. If he can store all this information on a disc and stuff, and patches and whatnot will definitely still come out in the future. Probably small little patches, but what I think he's shooting for is to better the game overall, to have to lessen the amount of patches required so everybody can still get that full Final Fantasy 15 experience without even needing to be on the internet or having to need like the internet and having to get PlayStation Network or all that other stuff, So it's definitely one of those like irking moves, but and like he probably had to sit and think about that. Do I want to go ahead and release this as it is, or do I want to make sure everybody gets a good game? It's one of those decisions. And so, but of course, if there's also that backlash that if this game comes out and it doesn't live up to everyone's expectations, Square Enix might not live. I'm just saying that right now. Square Enix's sales will plummet down to earth after that. The only thing that'll probably have going for it next is maybe Final Fantasy Dissidia, if it makes the light of day onto the consoles. So, anything else you would like to add to Final Fantasy 15, Will?
I guess the only thing I like to add, because I didn't think about this, like in regards to the whole Street Fighter thing that I brought up,
Right.
because I'm not even sure how that even applies. Because now that I think about it, I'm always paying for PSN and all that good stuff, but just having to access the internet in order to get certain things is definitely going to make it difficult. Um, so, I mean, as far as the issue with the delay, I mean, there's always some kind of reason. I guess what you want to do at this point when it comes to this issue is try to look at it from both perspectives. Because I mean, now that you think about it, even when you played the demo, like you saw the frame drops and all of that when you fought the I forgot what they called that
The
giant.
Iron Giant.
Yeah, see, that name is so damn basic. I figured it was the Iron Giant because that's what they called it in all the other games, but I just totally forgot.
It's a classic generic Final Fantasy monster, so why change the name? Why change what it is? And they'll probably change the name later on with like special hunts and whatever when you're actually playing Final Fantasy 15. But